Hello everyone, it's Kavita from Red Door Yoga, and thank you for joining me for the mini Sutra series online. Today I wanted to talk to you about destroying your own boundaries. So this last week gone, I was chatting with a student of mine, and he happens to be in the medical field, and he had been talking to me previously about the fact that he needed to pull back on his workload, that he was seeing too many patients. And he'd had a little change in his work where he'd actually gone to a new location. And with this, the idea was that he should be able to kind of reset his workload a little bit. So when I was chatting with him, I asked him if he had indeed reduced his workload. And he said to me, well, kind of. And before, he would see up to 7 patients, and then he would take a break. Well, it turned out that in the last week, he had actually seen up to 14 patients before taking a break. So he had actually doubled his workload, not reduced his workload. Now, when I talked to him a little further, it turned out that the reason that he was seeing so many patients was because he was booking so many patients. You see, in the new office, there is a receptionist whose job is to book. And the receptionist was indeed abiding by his actual schedule that he'd given, only booking him in when he said he was available. But he was the one who was actually booking himself for patients outside of the schedule that he had given the receptionist. So in this story, in this example, what we see is that other people in the situation are all respecting the boundaries that this particular student has. The boundaries are, I only work in these hours. Therefore, I would only see X number of patients and then have a break and X number of patients for the day. Everyone else was abiding by it but him. So he was the one destroying his own boundaries. And many of us do this. Many of us set boundaries, let people know that we have these boundaries, and then pretty much immediately go about the process of destroying those boundaries ourselves, even as others around us are trying to respect the boundaries. Now, the truth is that others around us will not respect those boundaries indefinitely if we keep demonstrating that we don't care about our own boundaries, that we don't actually mean our own boundaries. Okay? In a way, it's not only a lack of compassion for ourselves when we destroy our own boundaries, but it's a lack of compassion for others around us because they are actually putting in effort to abide by the boundaries we have set, to respect us in the way we've requested. And when we demonstrate that those boundaries actually don't matter to us, it is in a way a disrespect for the efforts and energy of the people around us trying to abide by our boundary, trying to respect us. So I really want to kind of put this idea forth to you that it's great to have boundaries. It is great when you are able to request those boundaries be met, to vocalize those boundaries and request that they be met. But you need to make sure that you yourself are respecting those boundaries, that you are not the ones destroying them. And it is an act of respect for yourself and for others to do so. Boundaries actually go both ways. Okay? When you set a boundary, not only do others need to respect them, but you do as well. It's a form of respect for yourself. It's a form of respect for others. And I think everyone knows the story of the boy who cried wolf. The short version is that if you cry wolf, if you ask for things and then demonstrate over and over and over that what you're asking for actually doesn't matter, then after a while people stop listening. They start to believe that what you have to say doesn't actually have value behind it, doesn't actually have truth and energy behind it. And so with boundaries, you want to make sure that you are respecting the boundaries that you put up yourself so that the rest of the world around you can continue to see value in your requests. It is part of your self-mastery. I hope this was helpful, everyone. I have a bit of homework for you if you're willing to do this with me, and it's a bit of homework that can be incredibly helpful to you, short-term and long-term. And that bit of homework is I'd actually like you to take the next week and really look at the boundaries that you've requested of people around you, and then ask yourself if you've been respecting those boundaries. Really look at those boundaries. Have you been respecting the boundaries that you've requested? And if you haven't, well then, there's a little bit of resetting that needs to be done. And possibly at times there may be apologies that need to be made. Okay? So if you found this helpful, everyone, please do like the video. Please do share it with others. You never know who needs to hear these things, okay? And it's our pleasure being able to share yoga philosophy with you. And if you have comments, okay, questions, just put them in the comment section. I do check the comments and questions that come up over time, all right? And those questions and comments will also help me to know what you would like me to address for future mini sutras, okay? Thank you, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Namaste.